Hi guys, and welcome back to this journey towards excellent exam results. In these shorter revision videos, we are going to be breaking down different concepts within the GCSE Geography specification. The aim of this is to help us understand the concepts better and to give us the information and confidence we need to answer exam questions. In today's video, we are going to be discussing flood hydrographs and their significance when studying river landscapes. Okay, let's get started. So what are flood hydrographs and what are the factors that affect them? So a flood hydrograph is just a graph that shows us the changes that a river goes through due to rainfall. Now, as you can see here, we have a line, and this red line here is showing us the amount of water in that particular river. Okay, so you can see here that it starts off quite low. The amount of water is low. And the reason why it's low is because the rainwater has not yet reached the river. Now these bars here, this B here, well, shown by B here, or labeled as B rather, sorry, is this bar here is the rainfall. And this here at the top part of this bar here shows us the peak rainfall. So that is the time when we have the most rain falling. Now that rain is then going to find its way to the river. And as that happens, the amount of water or discharge of the river will start to go up. And that is what we are referring to as the rising limb. So it's going to take some time for the water, obviously, to get to its peak discharge, or the maximum amount of, not maximum amount of water, but the highest amount of water from this particular rainfall event. And then that water is going to start draining away from that particular river and obviously draining towards the sea and the ocean. And that is what we are referring to here as the falling limb. Now, the other thing that is very important here to note is the lag time, which is labeled C over here. And the lag time is the difference between the peak rainfall, B, and the peak discharge over here. Now, the longer the water takes to get to the river, the less the flood risk. However, and that means that there will have been a longer lag time. However, if there is a shorter lag time, then it means that that river is at risk of flooding. And that is because the water will be reaching that particular river very quickly, and therefore that river is likely to flood. Okay, and something that we forgot to mention actually is that one side of one y-axis on this flood hydrograph here will show us the runoff or discharge in cumex, which is cubic meters per second. And then on this side here, it will show us the precipitation, which is represented by the bars here. And then on the x-axis here, we have the time. And in this particular case, it's shown by the days. So this is day 1, and that is day 2 over there. Now, there are several factors that can affect a flood hydrograph, and one of them is urbanization. Now, if you have an area that has a lot of buildings in it, it means that the water is not going to be able to infiltrate the tarmac and the concrete, and therefore will sit on the surface, and therefore you will have a shorter lag time because that water is going to flow through drains and through that surface runoff and get to the river very quickly. And so urbanization is likely to lead to a higher flood risk. Then we have deforestation as well, which is another factor that can affect a flood hydrograph. In places where trees have been cut down, there will be less interception, and therefore the water will go straight to the ground other than being intercepted by the leaves of the tree. And that again will lead to a shorter lag time, which is likely to increase flood risk. So in places where you have forest which have not been deforested, you're going to have a longer lag time. Okay, and then we have what is referred to as antecedent rainfall, and that is referring to rainfall events that have taken place previously to this particular rainfall event. So if you had a lot of rain prior to this particular rainfall event here, the ground is already likely to be saturated with water, and as a result of that, this new water that is coming through this new rainfall event is likely not to be able to infiltrate the ground as quickly, or as quickly, yes. And as a result of that, there will be a lot more surface runoff, shorter lag time, and increased flood risk. And then you have afforestation here, which is a planting of trees. Obviously, if you plant more trees, you have more interception and therefore a longer lag time. That brings us to the end of this video on flood hydrographs. I hope that you have found the information insightful and useful. I have also put together videos on all the other subtopics within the UK's Evolving Physical Landscapes unit. 2 of them will pop up as suggested videos at the end of this one, and the rest will be in the UK Evolving Physical Landscapes playlist. Thanks once again for joining in this journey towards excellent exam results. All the best and see you again soon. Bye-bye.